Hello viewers, today I'm going to be showing you my advanced elevator. It is just if you've seen my other elevator video, I'll leave a link in the description to that in case you want to see it. But if you've seen it, this is a more advanced, better working one. It uses a lot more commands and such stuff like that. And I think it looks a lot better too. So basically you walk in here, you can see it's named elevator. You need to wait a little bit, then you can click T, go here, and you can click up. And as you see, it brought me up a floor. I have quite a few more floors. You can make it go quite higher. So then I can go in here, click up again. And I'm up another floor. And then if you go in here, you can click down. And as you see, I went down a floor. Then I can click it one more time and go down another floor. And here I'm back on the bottom floor. If you see in my other elevator, there's a bunch of things off the side. It occasionally didn't work really, and it was kind of messy. Here, there's no command blocks or anything hooked up to it. It's just a structure, and then these are actually armor stands. And I'll explain that all later. So let's get to showing it to you. So basically how the armor stands work, I have them numbered for each floor, just to make things easier. It summons an armor stand at a specific coordinates. If you don't know coordinates, check out my command block tutorial part 2. I'll leave both part 1 and part 2 in the description. But I summon it, it's the first one. At the coordinates right over there, you can see the name. Custom name elevator. It's custom name. I have it visible. It's small, invisible, and invulnerable. And so basically it can float. You can't see it. All you can see is just the name tag. So it looks kind of like the elevator's named. And that's kind of like this is the machine behind it. You can have that hundreds of blocks away and this would still work. So basically everything revolves around those entities. You can't get them messed up. Otherwise it won't work. So everything you need those, and I have it rapidly setting them there in case like someone broke it or something, killed them. I also have it rapidly killing them, so just in case, because normally you can move them or you could try to do something like that, so that'll stop that from happening too. So it'll just leave them exactly like that, and then I do the same thing with all these except different coordinates. So you need to have one of these for each floor. So if you were, say, just to have 2 floors, so like here and up to there, you wouldn't need 4 and 3. You just need 1 and 2, and each of them have separate coordinates. Each one is exactly, if you're doing coordinates, 5 blocks above it. So just for the next floor, it's the number 1. If you're to do the third one, it's 247. I'm talking about right here. Here it's 242. It's 247 for the next one. And then in this, oh yeah, by the way, you, depending on how tall you want it, you kind of need to mess around with the coordinates. I'll explain that more later, but it's basically the difference in distance apart, and I'll explain more later. But here, all executes all entities type equal that elevator armor stand. Right where he is, it'll execute all players within a radius of 1, which would be me. And it says adds a scoreboard objectives adds an elevator dummy. So that basically makes just a dummy that we can play with. It also revolves around scoreboard objectives, just adds a little another entity like thing that you can play with to just get it to work. And I have that, so I'm pretty sure I haven't tested it, but I think it would work on like a server or something. I haven't tested it, so I'm not positive. Um, and then this also executes all entities type equals ArmorStand. That ArmorStand then executes me if I'm in a radius of 1 block of him. It'll set the block underneath me to be stone. That'll just make sure that no matter what, I shouldn't fall. That puts the stone blocks there because we don't want me falling, because then you'll take fall damage and everything. So then over here I have a timer. This is the length I found to work most efficient if you're in there. When this when the thing that says elevator up and elevator down, when those come up, right as those two disappear, 2 more will appear right after it. Basically what this does is it uses the Tellraw command. If you aren't familiar with that, I just actually yesterday posted a video on that. So I'll leave a link in for that in the description so you can figure that out. But executes that ArmorStand and then Tellraws all players within a radius of 1 block. It says elevator, color gray. Then the second one's up, and it's also gray. hoverEvent. Then it says going up, and then the command is it sets the scoreboard players set all players elevator to 1. So that's a lot. It basically says that text, and then that's how it works is when you click it, it will set your scoreboard, which is added right over here, to 1. And then the same thing with down, except here it sets it to 2, and it, changes the text. But here it executes the ArmorStand, then it tests for all players with the score elevator, any number up to 1, and then score elevator a minimum of 1. So you need both of those because it's any number up to 1, but it has to be a minimum of 1. So then it makes sure it's exactly 1. If it's exactly 1, it'll teleport you 100 blocks up, then 100 blocks down. Because if you didn't do that, it would kind of keep it there, and then it doesn't quite work well. But you can't even see that. Then it just teleports you up how high you want it. That's what I was talking about. If you're going to make it taller, you need to play around with how high up it brings you. And then at the end, scoreboard players set block wizard 1 elevator to 0. So that'll set mine. You just replace my username right here with your username, and it'll set it to 0, so then that doesn't activate. And this one, it tests for it to be 2, so that's if you click down, and it teleports you up, then back down to the same spot, then teleports you down, and then sets your scoreboard to 0. So basically, once again, if you're going to make it taller, the area in between them, you can just change this to go further. So if you're going to change the height, you need to work around with these. You need to change the height of that. And then here you need to mess with how far up and down to really figure out the height. And then the last thing is it executes the ArmorStand, sets the block 3 blocks above it to be air. So I have that one thing, as you saw, that makes it so you won't fall, but then also if you don't have it set air here, then it will also place a block there, and that'll kind of cram your area. And then here executes the ArmorStand set block sets block air where it is, because the same thing also right here would become air, and then that wouldn't work out either. So you need those to stop it, and then set the block above it, redstone block, and then if there's one there, it'll destroy it. So it makes a super fast timer. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna leave links to those videos in the description. I'm also gonna leave all these commands in the description. Please comment, tell me what you thought of my video. Please view, please subscribe, and bye YouTube.